through the valley of the shadow of hell, you will realize that there is something ahead. Something that lurks behind the dark veil. A veil that is beyond our own comprehension. Beyond the void.
What's up, guys, and welcome back to
Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
That's right!
It's gonna be so uncomfortable.
God damn, Brittany is unfucking leashed upon the podcast. But yeah, so we're back to celebrate some further anniversary goods for the 1 year anniversary of the BTV cast. And I'm glad Brittany got to be here for this part now, too.
I know, I'm sad.
Kind of
I wasn't
worked
there
out,
for the
though.
First part.
Yeah, it's okay. We're still celebrating, and I'm going to make you take this shot,
I know.
too.
I thought I got out of it, you guys.
Oh, no.
Christina was telling me about it,
It's
and I
not-
was like, "Oh, I'm so glad I got out of that shit." And Alex was like, "Oh, no, you're
It's
doing
not
it."
that
I'm like,
bad.
Son of a bitch.
It's not that bad. I thought it was going to be really bad. But we're going to be doing a really fun episode today. We got two really awesome 1990s movies, the year of Britney's birth.
Holla.
So this is a very special episode all around. But we're going to be talking about Class of 1999 and Hardware, both from 1990, both Robot Mania. What are we going to call this? Like, we need to call it something. But anyway, we're going to make you take this shot, so we might as well just do it right now. I've gone ahead and prepared. If you guys don't know what this shot is, it's our BTV anniversary 90s radical shot, I think.
It's in a fancy glass, though, so it's actually legitimately in a skull.
Yeah, it's in a nice skull
In a
glass.
skull glass, unlike the coffee mug that we try and pass off as a skull.
Right. And to give you guys an idea what's in it, we got kiwi, strawberry, Snapple. We've got the berry lemonade Jones. We've got the Smirnoff Ice. And we also have Mickey's and Smirnoff vodka. So, enjoy.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers. Okay, that's not bad, actually.
I told you, right? I told you.
Smells
I was like so scared to drink it, and then when I tasted it, I was like, that actually tastes really good.
It smells like straight bottle, but like it's not that bad. Like this is probably my favorite one that we've done.
Are
so
you being
far.
serious?
I'm being serious.
I told you. I just like me and Patrick were like, oh God, smell that. And he was like, yeah.
It smells like straight fucking butthole, so I get it. Like it just smells
It's a
gross.
good shot.
And Christina just told me about how bad it smelled, and I was like, oh no. So glad I got out of that.
And if you want to know how to make it, by the way, I told you how to make it, but check it out on our Horror Shots page. We'll put the link below. You can figure it out.
I think the Mickey's is what really threw me, though.
It's the weird bite to it, isn't it? Right?
It is. That's what I taste at the end.
Yeah, but it's not bad.
I feel like the Mickey's settled to the bottom.
I was very surprised how
Goddamn
good it tasted.
fucking Mickey's.
I was like, what can we put together? Oh, I'll just mix them all.
I used to drink that shit. Like we used to do Edward 40 hands.
Oh yeah.
Like when I was like 13.
Yeah,
with
you said
fucking
something about
Mickey's.
taping it to your hands.
That's
or
it.
something?
Yeah, the Edward 40 hands. You tape the fucking 40 to your hands. You tape two, one in each hand.
So you can't put them down until you drink
until
it
you're
all?
done. Yeah, you can't untape them from your hands until you drink.
Jesus,
everything
two?
that's in- two, one in each hand.
I've beer bonged a 40 before. Mm-hmm. That's a
Yeah,
lot.
it was always Mickey's. Like I always drink Mickey's. That was the one.
Me
that
and my
I did.
buddy I remember he was
Or
like,
High
we
Life.
should beer bong fucking 40s, man. I was like,
Yeah,
all right, fine.
Fucking terrible friend that was.
So they were really cold too. So like it was like really cold, like ice cold.
Yeah, it makes it even harder.
And then we poured it in the top and pounded it, and my stomach hurt
Immediately?
so bad, like for like a good minute. And I was like, oh God, what do we do?
You die.
Yeah, it was pretty bad, dude. I
throw it
started
up or you
sweating like
suffer.
really bad.
Yeah.
And then we just like let out these big burps, like really loud.
Kind of like that.
But all week, guys, we're going to be drinking all kinds of weird 90s drinks. Like, we're going to go to, like, Bevmo and try
All
to get,
month?
like... Yeah?
Sorry, you said all week.
Did I say week? Oh, all month, yeah. We're going to be drinking anything that was popular in the 90s, like Aftershock.
Yay.
Fucking Fireball. What is it called? What was it called? The red one that was like Aftershock? But I'm going to take you down Old Man's Lane.
Well, I know all the shit.
We should get him on. Just get Mouse on.
I had brothers and take him to Old Man Lane.
Yeah,
seriously though, he
his
drank
empty
that
chair.
shit in the 90s. Like he's
he's here with us
so
in
you
spirit.
guys know we're sadly looking over at the chair next to us, reaching for it.
Hey,
like my
Mouse.
husband's there and he's not. Oh, poor little nugget. He's at home.
How have you been this week, anyway?
I've been fine.
Yeah?
I just got back from Denver and
Yeah?
doing a lot of driving.
Yeah, well, you performed out there with Agents of Lust, right?
We did. We performed on Saturday in Colorado Springs.
Was it fun?
Yes.
Oh, so not so good.
We had fun, but we always have fun.
Right.
So,
Wasn't as cool as you thought, though.
I mean, the venue was fucking awesome. The venue was the coolest fucking thing, and it has a lot of really cool stories behind it. It's totally haunted. So cool, and so appropriate and fitting, and like probably the coolest spot I've ever actually performed at.
Really?
Hands down. They've never done Bloodfest out there. Bloodfest was pretty much strictly like Arizona.
That's what I was wondering. I kept
Yeah.
seeing that. I'm like, is that the same people
No.
that did Bloodfest here?
It's the same people that do it here. That they like wanted to branch out to like Colorado, and a couple like venue changes or whatever. I think originally it was supposed to be in Denver, and then it changed to Colorado Springs, which is about an hour and a half outside of Denver.
Yeah, that just killed like more than half.
It kind of did, but I mean, and then it was fucking raining and storming like the whole day and the whole night.
Wow.
And so that fucks with attendance too. I mean, we still had a decent amount of people that actually showed up, so it really wasn't bad.
All the lifers.
But yeah, they were incredibly receptive to us though, which I loved. Like that's one of the things I really love about doing anything. Mouse's band plays there all the time.
Right.
Like everybody was super like appreciative and generally like in love with what we were doing, and they were interested, and it was very supportive. Not to say people here aren't supportive, because
No,
they are,
yeah.
but
It was a different vibe,
it's
though.
a different vibe. Like I felt
Well, it
like
just could be Colorado.
yeah, I mean like literally like the second I walked in the fucking venue, it's I'm getting hit on fucking left and right, but like everybody there that's breathing, and I'm just like, Jesus, like I have a fucking skeleton face painted on, like no one knows what I fucking look like,
Right.
and they're just like, oh man, and this girl's like, I am in love with her, to like the bartender like the whole night.
You're like, oh, that's
I'm
cute.
like,
The first
"Thanks,
100
I'm
times.
in love with me too. But no, it was cool. Like it was really we had fun. I went to
Cool.
a drag show on Friday in Denver, which was incredible. So
Yeah.
I got to see Katya. Which
Okay. I don't know who that one is, but
I'm a huge fucking RuPaul Drag Race, like,
Oh, okay.
obsessed. Like, I've seen every fucking season start to finish, and, like, I go and see their performances whenever I can, and Katya's one of my favorites. There was 3 of the girls from RuPaul that were there.
Well,
One
I
of
mean, they
them
usually
is-
pull some pretty... Well, is it the same people? Bloodfest brings out...
No, different.
James St. James.
St.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever does anything. He usually does, like, the October ones
Okay.
here.
Yeah.
It was just us and another person from Arizona that was a DJ, and then the guy that does the weddings.
Oh, yeah. The
that
pastor
screams
or
the
whatever, yeah.
weddings. He's awesome. He's really cool. Reed, I think his name's Reed.
Yeah, you can get married guys. Like, people line up to
He
get married by
screams
this
at you
guy.
the whole time. It's
Yeah.
hilarious. I love it. He's really nice.
Does he scream into a mic, or...?
Well, if it's working, yeah, but he just screams, period. Like, he's really loud. He's awesome. I love that dude.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's a long trip.
Yeah, I drove the whole
14
way there
hours,
and
right?
the whole way back. It's technically 12 hours and 45 minutes, but that's
Yeah.
like if you don't stop, and
Yeah.
if it's not pouring rain, and by the time we got there, I had already been up for like 30 hours.
So that was the hardest part, is this driving all
The
this.
hardest part was waiting for it to be daylight. So still driving at like 5:30 in the morning. You can see the sun starting to come out. But for me, it's like I had already been up for 24 hours straight. So I'm like, fuck my life.
Yeah, that would have sucked.
I'm like starting to fall asleep a little bit, and like nod off. And poor Jay's like, what the fuck? Like,
Right, yeah.
she's like, do you need to stop? And I'm like, yeah, I got to get gas.
And you only were there for a couple of days.
We're only there for less than 48 hours, essentially.
God.
Yeah, this is my life.
Yeah.
Life of a performer, Alex. Like usually
I don't know.
every other time I've been in Denver though, I've been there for less than 24
That's
hours.
more than a
so-
tour does, you know what I mean? Like, for one gig. you know?
Angie tried to help me on the way back, but it was like crazy storming and shit. And I was like,
That
nope, I need to
sucks.
be in control of my fucking boat.
Yeah, especially
here.
in this fucking storm.
Yeah, no,
You would
I
have
was-
a panic attack.
Oh, exactly. I was like, I appreciate it, but I need to be in control, or it's
Yeah.
just going to be miserable for everybody, mostly me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I'm glad you had fun, and
Yeah, it was
welcome
cool.
back.
thanks.
What we're going to do now, guys, we're going to do our flesh and potatoes segment of...
Mo robots, mo problems. Right now.
All right, guys, we're back for our flesh and potatoes of Mo Robots, Mo Problems. So we're going to get into the problems of robots in the 90s, apparently. We're laughing because we don't know how to say it without sounding like an asshole.
Mo robots, mo problems.
Mo robots,
You
mo
can't.
problems.
You sound like an asshole regardless.
Right.
It just doesn't matter.
Mo robots, mo problems.
problems.
All right, guys, so we're going to jump into the first movie, which is Class of 1999. The movie came out May 11th, 1990. This movie was actually, it's got a pretty crazy story. Robot teachers have been secretly placed in the schools where the students have run riot. The teachers do a good job of controlling the unruly youngsters until they go too far, and some students get suspicious. That's probably the most, like, nice way to put this movie. It's more like a gang of youngsters that pretend to be 40-year-olds jump into high school to get into gangster antics, and robots teach them a lesson.
Like, okay, so when we first, like, when you told me that these are the movies that we were going to do that you picked
Right.
out, I was like, okay, I have never heard of either of these films.
Yeah.
Ever.
Really?
I had not, and that's what Christina
Oh,
said.
this is
She's
a good
like, really?
thing.
You didn't even heard of Hardware? And I was like, no, none of them.
That's like the industrial scene's wet dream.
Oh, it's great. Like,
Everybody
but,
loves
yeah,
that movie.
I've never fucking heard of these films ever, and like I've never heard anyone talk about them in our like social circles.
Really?
It hasn't come up, and if they have, I just don't remember.
So this is a good thing. This is like a learned episode for
No,
you.
it was awesome. Like I was so stoked. Like I was like, okay, like what are these films, right? And so I look them up first. This seems interesting, like,
to say the least.
to say the least. Let's do this. I'm like, there's a baby Malcolm McDowell in one of them, and then baby Dylan McDermott in the other
Right,
one. Like
yeah.
let's fucking do this, right? But the first thing I notice, of course,
Right.
when we start Class of 1999, is this like beautiful fucking like queen that walks in when they introduce like the fucking robot teachers.
Oh, Pam
And
Grier?
I'm all, that's Foxy Brown!
Yeah, I know, right?
I was so excited. Like, I turned to Mouse, and I'm just like, I'm like, that's Foxy Brown! Like, I'm so,
Yeah, she did a good job,
I fucking
too.
love Pam Grier. Like, I
Yeah.
love Foxy Brown, and I love Coffee,
Coffee, yeah,
whatever.
Coffee.
I don't care. Like, I love those films. And,
Right.
you know, that's
She's like the blaxploitation's queen.
she was the queen of blaxploitation
Yeah.
films, and that's a lot of. Side note, rare fact, a lot of people don't remember that Sid Haig got his start in those fucking
Right.
films. Foxy fucking Brown.
Yeah.
Super excited about her because I don't know, I love her, even though she doesn't really have much. She doesn't
Well, there's
do a whole lot as far as like dialogue in this film, but
there's a lot of talent in this movie.
there's a lot of people in it.
One of the director and the writer of the movie is Mark L. Lester, who, aside from doing the original Class of 1984, this is technically the sequel.
Essentially,
Yeah,
right.
and then there's a part 2 of Class of 1999 2, The Substitute, after it, yeah. Which I don't remember if I liked it or not, but I feel like I have to watch it now. I know Class of 1984 is on Shudder. I was going to watch it, but I just didn't have enough time. I was like doing so much. He also directed Firestarter, Commando,
Drew
which is
Barrymore's
from
first
Arnold Schwarzenegger. He did Misbegotten, Pterodactyl. His actual breakout movie was called Roller Boogie, and it had
Excellent.
Linda Blair in it.
Excellent.
That was his like big film.
Like a straight up disco movie from the 70s.
I think so. It was a
That
roller
sounds like
skating
it.
rink disco movie.
Beautiful.
Also, it stars Bradley Gregg, who I like to call Steven Dorff too. Because he really looks like
oh my
Steven
God,
Dorff.
so accurate.
I was like, man, is that Steven? I was like, dude, Steven Dorff. I was like, oh shit, he probably gets that a lot.
Oh, I'm sure. I am so sure.
He's like, fuck you, dude. But Bradley Gregg was actually in Dream Warriors, Elm Street 3. Stand By Me is where I remember him the most. Indiana Jones, The Last Crusade, and Fire in the Sky. Malcolm McDowell, which you mentioned, he's in it. Obviously, the Halloween remakes are some of the most recent big ones. He also did A Clockwork Orange, and probably many more that you guys I don't even need to explain to you.
He's so fucking nice, too.
If you're a horror fan, you probably know who he is.
Yeah, if you went to Bad Monster 2 years ago, you met him, too.
Right?
So nice.
Tracy Lind, who's one of the gang members, she was in Fright Night 2 and My Boyfriend's Back, which is a 90s movie.
I thought that was the principal's daughter.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're right. I'm sorry.
She's in the
I
gang
don't know why I called her a gang member. But yeah,
Well,
she's the daughter.
She's a goody girl.
Yeah.
A good girl.
Stacy Keach, which is a guy's name, actually. His name is he was in American History X as the fucking skinhead fucking leader.
Yes, he was.
He was actually pretty unsavory.
He's awful, and like every role he plays, he's always fucking shit.
I felt really good when he got his ass fucked up.
Yeah.
Dude, I was just like, finally, dude. Like, that movie's a brutal movie, but he was also in Up in Smoke by Cheech and Chong.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's the police officer.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's the police officer because the guy that's Strawberry was in, like, a famous TV show, and I can't think of his name.
I just love how this movie, like, opens to, like, his shark fin, like, bleach blonde mullet thing that he's got going on.
He's got, like, a huge rat tail.
And then he turns around, and it's just, like, the cool, like, whiteout contacts, but then he still has the dark black, like, eyebrows and mustache. And I'm like, come on. Like, you couldn't have fucking bleached that shit, too, or, like, shaved it. It looks so stupid.
Oh, he's got the drapes and curtains.
But he's just so fucking, like, I don't know. I can't take him seriously. The whole movie, I just can't.
Yeah, he's pretty ridiculous in it, but he plays a really good scumbag.
He does. Well, he always does, though.
Obviously, Pam Grier, which she mentioned, blaxploitation queen. She was also in Jackie Brown, Mars Attacks, Scream, Blackula Scream, Coffee, and obviously Foxy Brown.
Foxy Brown.
Something Wicked This Way Comes, too.
That's right. She's in a lot of shit.
I forgot she was in that.
She's in a lot of shit.
Yeah, she is.
A lot.
One of the robot guys, John P. Ryan, was in it. He passed away in 2007. He was in It's Alive, It Lives Again, Future World, Death Wish 4, and Delta Force 2. And then Joshua John Miller, who was the child actor for most of his childhood. Mm-hmm. He was in Near Dark. He was in Meet the Hollowheads, Death Warrant. He's also a writer, though. Have you seen the movie The Final Girls?
No.
Oh, dude.
I did a little research on him, though, because I don't know. He's
just one of those actors you always remember. He's weird looking.
Like, yeah, I thought it was a girl at first. Like when his character pops up, and then like the pink, like little, like pink
Angel.
and black jacket, and his name's Angel. And he's got
it's kind of ambiguous.
He's got that that coiffy ass fucking hair, and I'm just like, the hell. I'm like, I did a little more research on him.
Right.
I was like, where the fuck do I know him from? Like,
yeah.
And then I saw that he actually has more recently just been like directing and writing.
Yeah. Which The Final Girls is really funny.
I've heard. I haven't seen it though.
It's not amazing, but there's some pretty good stuff in it.
Yeah.
I own it. Well, maybe we'll watch it soon or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, he got hot too.
Yeah. Well, he definitely looks different than he did when he was a kid.
Side note: he grew into his fucking weird looks because he was.
Yeah, he was. But he was in a lot of different stuff, and I remember him being a big '80s and *90s. Now, this movie was made on a budget of $5,200,000. Like, what the fuck?
That's a lot of money.
Yeah, that's a lot of money, and it only made like $2,500,000 domestically. So it was a box office failure.
Oh yeah.
I mean, obviously wasn't too bad. They must have done really well in like VHS cassettes or something like that.
Yeah.
Like it might have sold really well, so they were able to make a sequel.
Did it do pretty well internationally though too?
I didn't read about that. I didn't see that. It was kind of hard to find any international.
Well, this is definitely one that seems like it came up to be more of like ended up becoming like a cult classic film, like where it took a little more time for it to build that audience.
And I think that this movie was supposed to come out in '89.
It's supposed to come out in 1989, but I believe they changed.
It did air in the
companies?
UK before it came to America because they had issues or something.
It was
distribution company, maybe.
Yeah, because the whole time we're watching it, Mouse was like,
"It's an '80s movie.
This is an '80s movie."
Yeah, it totally is.
And I'm like, "This is not. It came out in 1990," and he's like, "This is a fucking '80s movie." And I'm like, "Okay." but it came out in 1990.
It's really silly.
And I looked into it, and I'm like, oh, it was supposed to come out in 1989. He's like, yeah, so that means that they started probably filming it in 88.
And it was probably written in the 80s,
yeah,
too.
it's a fucking 80s movie. And I'm like, okay,
Right.
it's a fucking 80s movie. Like, fuck.
Well, what did
Jeez.
you think of it, though?
I kind of have, like, this love-hate.
Yeah, oh yeah. It's not
like,
perfect by any means.
No, and for me, a lot of things that I like decent dialogue.
Okay.
And the dialogue in this movie is shit.
Wow, I thought it was some of the best dialogue I've
So fucking amazing.
since Gilbert Grape.
The one-liners, like, it is fucking one-liner central. Like, I will say, the one-liner shit that comes out of that, like, Mouse and I
they're
were
really
quoting
bad.
it all fucking night. One part in particular. But
Don't ruin those
I'm
yet.
not.
Don't, yeah,
I'm
we're
not.
save those for the end.
I'm not. But I don't know, man. It was fun.
Yeah, I think
It was fun, and it gave me, like, I love the costuming.
Yeah,
All the outfits are great.
yeah. It's like
And-
it is a weird mix. It's almost like it's got like 80s style, but like it's got that 90s thing to it
It's
too.
80s, but like 90s punk.
Yeah,
And kind of goth. And I'm like, okay, but it's definitely 80s style too. Like, I don't know. It was really interesting. It was really cool. Like, it was a fun film to watch. I wasn't bored
no.
watching it. And I was just like, this would never fucking happen. Like, the whole time I'm looking at it, Mouse was like, why would you fucking go to school? You got to go through all of that to fucking go to school. Why the fuck would you even go to school? And I'm like, well, because they're going to go to jail if they don't go to school. And he's like, so fucking what? Is it even worse? Is it any worse?
Well, and that's the thing that
And I'm like,
I don't want to get into it too much, but that is the weird part, right?
right.
Like they've taken over the school area, so who the hell's telling them that they got to go to school in the first place?
It doesn't make sense. Like,
if
that
the government
doesn't
won't
jive.
even jump in there.
That doesn't jive because it's
Right.
like this supposedly this like what is it, free fire zone?
Yeah, they've turned it into like a gangland essentially
Pretty much,
for
it's
youth.
it's a free gang. Like, it's the gangs control it and the gangs run it or whatever.
Right,
And
but
there's
in the
two
center
gangs.
of it is the high school.
What is it, like the Blackhearts and then the Razorheads?
Yeah,
Right. So I don't know, man. Like, it's so silly,
it is
so
kinda silly.
fucking silly, and just unbelievable.
Right.
But it was fun. The costumes are cool. The cars were cool. The weaponry was cool. Like, but I mean, all these little motherfuckers with like these fucking like automatic weapons. And
Right.
it's like, bah, 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 the whole time. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, that's what I
None
say.
of them can shoot.
Yeah, not at
None
all.
of them. They're basically like stormtroopers.
Well, they would
can't
have to pay
fucking
for the squibs.
aim shit for shit, and it's just like they don't hit anything they're aiming at. Fuck, man. But I want that fucking bus.
Oh, the yellow one with
fucking
the
school bus?
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, Agents of Lust need that bus.
You should.
So fucking
I would deck it
badass.
out more, but they probably
No,
couldn't.
like I want to deck it out more too. Like,
probably
I would,
wasn't
but-
street legal.
Well, no, it's supposed to be school. It's supposed to be a school bus though, so they can't really like
Right.
get too crazy with it with the without completely fucking the concept of what they wanted to do. But they should have thrown at least some graffiti paint on that shit though. I don't know. That would have made it feel a little bit more.
I thought it was cool.
No, it was cool
It's a battle bus.
for sure. The bus is dope as fuck. Like
I thought it was cool. I like some of the cars in it too. I thought the cars were kind of cool.
his car was cool. The main character,
Oh, the red one.
whatever the fuck his name is.
Oh, yeah, Cody.
Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like this car.
One of the things I think is just like cheesy good. Like I've
It is
written
cheesy
down kind of my thoughts here, but it's kind of like over the top premise of a world gone bad with like the youth taking over everything, which is kind of like one of those things you think about it. It's like the old man syndrome, or old person syndrome, I should say. But it's essentially playing on that whole youth is destroying the future trope. And then it's saying, how do we correct it? And when is going too far?
It's like Mad Max for teenagers, but they're not as cool.
Yeah, they're way not cool.
They're
yeah.
just trying really hard to be really cool, but they're not quite there yet because they have their parents' cars and like their parents' hand-me-down clothes and shit.
Well, the characters kind of were like comic book characters.
Right.
It was almost like
The dialogue
Tim Burton
and then
shit all
the
over their
acting too, like the delivery.
right.
I'm just like, fuck, man. Like the Cody or whatever, like he's the worst.
He is pretty bad.
He's the worst of everybody. Of all
Yeah,
of the
the
actors and
blonde hair guy was
actresses,
way better than
that
him.
blonde hair guy was great.
He's like he kind of looks like the guy from Train Spotting.
Yeah, that's what it is.
A little
I think.
bit, yeah.
I don't know, like, but he was the worst actor of the bunch, and he's the fucking main character, and I'm just like, this is some bullshit.
One of the things I really liked about it though, and where it took it, is the practical effects. at the end, man. It's really cheesy and really bad in a way, but it's really cool. Like, they did some really cool robotics work in that.
Well, you can tell that that's a $5 million budget film.
That's where it all went. Yeah, that and like renting out a building that they could blow up.
The last like 30 minutes of that film, that's obviously where that, besides the budget for the big name actors like Pam Grier and Malcolm McDowell, that's where all the fucking money, and Stacy Keach.
Yeah, Stacy Keach. He was pretty popular around that time.
He was. But that's, besides that being where most of that money went, it was that last 30 minutes of that film. Like, all the
that's what makes
like,
it
effects with the robots and, like, them busting through with their, human body parts and shit. It was fucking awesome. For that time,
Which is your favorite? Well, you probably would say Pam Grier is your favorite.
I actually liked the history teacher.
Yes, me too.
He was
Dude,
my favorite.
He sold the part.
He is so gross.
Yeah, he really is.
Like, the gym teacher's really gross, too. The gym teacher's more creepy gross.
Right.
But, like, the history teacher, though, was, like,
psychotic
totally like
gross.
a fucking Nazi. Like, he was
scary.
He's fucking creepy. Like, he makes you uncomfortable, but not in, like, a sexually uncomfortable way. He just makes you fucking uncomfortable. Like, gym teacher is sexually uncomfortable way.
A little bit, yeah. Because he's smile.
The history teacher, though, that guy is a psycho. And that actor played that out so great.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites, I think, of the three robots.
And, like, actually, she's my least favorite.
Really? Mm-hmm. I thought she was my second favorite, and then the gym teacher one is pretty good too. But
the gym teacher one was cool though, and I feel like because he's the one at the end, that comes back and
which is weird. Why did they pick him?
That's what I thought. I thought it should have been the history teacher,
or her, or Pam,
or
even.
her. Like he would have been my last choice, but because of that whole
he had such a strong persona. Yeah,
that's what made me like him more than her.
Right.
Because how they did that whole thing was really cool. But the history teacher was totally my favorite.
Did you catch the Trent Reznor song in it?
Oh, totally. Yeah.
That was like when it came out, dude.
Was it Head Like a Hole?
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to look it up because I was like, hang on, what the fuck? Like,
I know, right?
I thought that song came out later, but that song came out in...
Right at that time, 89, 90, yeah.
Yeah, and I totally looked at... Well, at first I looked at Mouse. And I'm all, didn't this song come out like 92? And he's like, no, the song came out before that. I'm like, fuck you. Like, of course you know this shit. I don't know. I'm not a huge Nine Inch Nails fan. So.
No, but it was interesting to know that was like the time.
Oh, but as soon as like because you can, it's pretty subtle.
Yeah, no, they just played in
it, like, you gotta really listen.
The Razorheads were playing it in the background with Carlos or whatever.
Slapped Mouse and I was like, it's fucking Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. He's like, what? And I had to like turn the TV up a little bit, and he's like, oh shit, that is.
They did have one song. No, that was in the other movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say the music.
Yeah, there's no memorable music. Better. The only thing I remember is the fucking Head Like a Hole, fucking Trent Reznor.
Mm-hmm. No, I looked the soundtrack up specifically too to see if there was other things that I just didn't catch, but the only big name song
Trent Reznor.
Was Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
That was it. All the others, I was like, who the fuck is that?
I guess I should have said Nine Inch Nails. I don't know why I said Trent Reznor, but I guess he's...
I mean, it is Trent Reznor. So.
Yeah, but exactly.
Nine Inch Nails.
He just hires people to play for him.
Exactly.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Apparently, Malcolm McDowell's a pretty big actor. Mm-hmm. This is before he started getting into, like, really silly stuff, I guess, like, right at the cusp of it. Because he got into some weird movies. Like, for a while there during the 90s.
I think everybody, for the most part, did in the 90s, though.
Yeah, it's because there was so much.
A lot of the shit that came out in the 90s is fucking weird and silly and stupid.
I will say one thing about the 90s. They have a lot of really crazy sci-fi stuff.
Did Event Horizon come out in the 90s?
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's me, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Like, 90s was a big sci-fi time, and I think we're going to be...
My favorite sci-fi film ever.
Event Horizon, yeah. I think we're going to be seeing more sci-fi coming out, because this is technically a sci-fi horror, or a horror sci-fi, whatever.
It's more sci-fi thriller before horror for both of these films.
I would say action more than thriller.
It's more... It's technically classified more towards thriller, and I think because of the horror element is why they go with thriller instead of action.
Well, because it's kind of horrifying, I guess.
But Hardware it does have horror in the actual classification of it, but not classified.
On IMDb, it says sci-fi horror for this one.
Does it really?
Yeah. It says horror sci-fi.
That's cute.
First, like, I'm like, really?
This isn't a horror
film at all.
It's
not a horror sci-fi, yeah.
Not even close.
Well, I think it is horror. It definitely can be.
If you got a weird, scary fucking fear of robots.
Or teachers. Malcolm McDowell, though, he only worked on the set for like 2 days.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in it a lot.
Well, yeah, but if you actually like were to take his every appearance that he has on screen.
You could do it in like 2 days.
Yeah, you can easily do that in 2
They
days.
spread them out.
If you took it and you can put them all together and compile them into this, like, it would probably be like a minute, maybe a minute, 30 seconds.
Movie magic.
It's not that long. Like, when he gets killed, though, it's pretty dope.
Apparently, this was the last movie that they even put in theaters, that Taurus Entertainment
Really?
company, yeah.
Well, I can see that, especially if they spent $5.2 million and they only made 2.
I would assume too, yeah.
Bankrupted their asses.
But it was also 1990, so that was a like straight to video era.
Yes.
So there was a lot of
Especially
people.
for these genres.
A lot of people went to rent videos at that time, and the people were like, "Well, now we can get it." And everybody was like, "Theaters are dead. Theaters are dead," and it's still not dead to this day. Actually, Malcolm McDowell was also supposed to play the history teacher.
That would have been awesome.
I don't think he would have done as good.
I think he would have been great. As good, probably not.
I don't know.
But
yeah.
I think he would have been great.
John P. Ryan's pretty badass in this.
He was fan-fucking-tastic.
Yeah, that's one of my favorite things about
and
this
I love
movie.
his icy blue eyes too. Make him so much creepier and so much more relatable.
And he's got
as
like
far as the fact
an
that he's
accent.
like a robot. Yeah, he just really sold it. Like
He's got like a northern European sort of.
Yeah, he's a fucking Nazi.
Is that what he is?
I mean, he feels like a Nazi to me.
Well, he spanks that kid like a bunch of times.
Hilarious, by the way.
So
like when they use
weird.
corporal punishment, I'm like, oh no, he's not.
Yeah,
And then he's like over the knee. Bah,
I mean,
bah,
essentially,
bah.
these
Oh my
kids,
God.
they're supposed to be kids,
right,
but they look like they're 20-some
They're
years
all-
old. Yeah,
most of them probably are 22.
yeah, at least. At
Like
least.
the only one that was probably like of the age they were portraying was the boy that played Angel.
Oh, I don't know. He's one of those guys that just you never know what his
He
age
does look
is.
like a child though.
Yeah.
Now he has a beard, so you can't tell. But if he shaved it, he's probably 16. He's like a mouse. If Mouse shaves his beard, he looks like a child. It's creepy.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of those weird
He's a
actors that
he-
you can just spot in an instant.
Yeah.
No one looks like him.
No. He's like an Edward Furlong.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Edward Fern's a little more
Nobody looks
normal.
like Edward Furlong. Edward Furlong is the only one that looks like Edward Furlong.
I guess you're right.
He is.
No one looks like Brad Pitt
Or
either.
Fairuza Balk. Fairuza Balk is the only person that looks like Fairuza Balk. Nobody else looks like her.
Yeah,
That
I
bitch
guess
is
you're
weird
right.
looking, but she's fucking hot. And everybody looks like Brad Pitt, Alex.
I don't know about that.
Mostly all
Well,
like
so
the
I
white
told-
guy, like,
I-
the
you know,
white blonde actors.
I
Mostly
looked
all
in
look
the mirror
same.
today and I was like, yeah,
I look like Brad Pitt.
I
Today.
look like Brad Pitt. Space Monkey. Space Monkey. All right. There's not a lot of history on this that we can really devote. I looked for it. I don't even think there was extras on the DVD.
I don't think so.
Like, I was
couldn't find
like
it.
trying to find anything, but there is a few things you can find out about some of the actors. But let's do some of our favorite scenes or favorite quotes. You do the favorite quote one first. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. So
What's your
Do I have
favorite?
to describe the scene too, or can I just say my favorite
Briefly, yeah.
quote? Okay, so basically, when he wastes the history teacher,
Yeah. That's the best one.
big explosion or whatever, and he like lands on the ground, and he's just like turns to the camera, and he's like, "Well, I guess I blew that class.
Yeah. Well,
Lost my shit."
he sticks the Uzi in his mouth. He's like, "Your history." That's the best part. Your history.
I'm sorry, I'm mixing it up with the chemistry.
I was thinking, I was like, wait.
Is it the chemistry teacher that he blows up? It's the chemistry teacher. The history teacher's the one where he puts the Uzi in his mouth and says, "Your history."
Your
and then it's all
history.
brrr, like,
Yeah.
it's the chemistry teacher that he blows up.
Well, which one's the chemistry teacher?
The girl.
Oh.
Pam
Oh.
She's the one that gets blown up, and they go and turn on all the gas.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're right. Okay.
And that's
yeah, I
the
was
one
like getting a
that-
little confused
yeah.
now too.
I know I'm mixing it up too, but that's the one they blow up, and then they land on the ground outside the classroom, and he's like,
Okay.
"Guess I blew that class," and I was like, "Oh,
I think there is some other stuff that's not
So
like I
stupid.
won't steal the other better thing that he says, but it wasn't the best, but it was good.
I think you should do it."
Well, there is one where he's fighting the robot coach, and he was like, "How about a stretch, coach?" And he's pulling his head off, like.
Yes. That was also fantastic.
That's really
He
ridiculous.
had these they wrote him these perfect fucking one-liners for each killing moment for these three
Right.
robots, and it was perfection. I loved it.
But it felt like didn't land right. You know, like none of them landed perfect.
They didn't. The timing
just
was
like-
totally weird.
You know what it is? It's not the timing. It's just his acting.
Oh, and that's what it was, is his delivery on it.
Yeah, he was like, how about a stretch? He doesn't even like accent. He was like, how about a stretch, coach?
Yeah, he just is terrible.
Just like it's normal.
He's just terrible.
Not like, how about a stretch, coach? You know?
Or even like your history.
He was just like, your history. Yeah.
Like, the best one of the three is Guess I Blew That Class.
Yeah, that one's pretty good.
That was pretty funny. Like,
that is really good.
That was pretty good, but still his delivery of it is just like...
I thought
so lackluster. Like I wish Edward Furlong should have been in that movie.
Or Stephen Dorff.
Or Stephen Dorff. Actual Stephen Dorff.
It's his long lost brother.
Oh my god. I can't act.
One of my favorite little ones that I caught, and it again, another poor delivery by him. I'm sorry, but yeah, it's really bad delivery, but it would have been really funny. Like inadvertently funny. But he's like, I remember you back in middle school, and you used to kick ass. Like, in middle school? Are you fucking kidding me? Like,
I don't remember that at all.
Yeah, they're like walking. It's like when Carlos from the Razorheads.
Who do you say that to?
He says it to Cody from the Black
Carlos
Hearts.
says it to
yeah,
Cody?
The leader of the Razorheads says to Cody, who's technically kind of the leader of the Black Hearts.
I remember you in middle school.
Yeah, he's like, I remember you in middle school, used to be kick ass. And he was like, yeah, I remember you being pretty kick ass too.
Oh, you're right. I remember that. Okay. I felt like it was so like just unnecessary. Like I'm just. What?
It was bad.
So stupid. Like it just.
But it's bad, but it's good.
Was
like,
that the only movie that the actor that played Carlos ever did?
I don't think so. I didn't look too much into him though.
In his history, like if you look him up, that's the photo that they use for him.
That's probably what he's probably most proud of, because he manages it or his agent manages it.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Typically,
like, yeah, I'm like, brah,
or Hector. I'm sorry, not Carlos. It's Hector.
Why are we saying Carl? We're so racist.
I don't think it's that.
Jesus,
it's easy to forget people's name. I wanted to call Cody Carl.
God,
there was another scene where Cody's like, reach down the back of my pants. Yeah. And Christy's like, what?
The fucking
He's like,
bike?
Come on, live dangerously. Like, what? And that's how he talks too. He's like, come on, live dangerously.
He's like a fucking Keanu Reeves. Like, I can't.
No, he's worse than Keanu Reeves.
Actually, not even Keanu Reeves in real life is what that guy fucking talks like to me.
Yeah.
Like,
how can you just do that, man?
Reach down my pants. I'm like, what the fuck
Dude,
is wrong with you?
Sounds like Stephen Dorff. He looks like Stephen Dorff. Like
Stephen Dorff can act, though.
Yeah, he can act a little bit better.
a whole lot better. He can act a lot better than
I don't mean to be rude to the guy, but Jesus Christ.
It was bad, dude. No, and he almost ruins it for me, like, entirely. Not a single ounce of what he does is good in that film. It isn't good.
There was a part where the teacher was like, 1 million megabytes. I forgot about that one. I was like, what? What the fuck is 1 million megabytes? A terabyte?
Fuck are
like,
you
really?
talking about?
A terabyte. Really?
So
you think
terabyte.
you're badass?
You can't just say 1 terabyte.
Yo, I got a 6 terabyte in my phone, all right, buddy? Cody was like saying, that's what it was. Cody was saying to him, he's like, what are you, a cop? Dr. Bob Forrest, the John P. Ryan guy, was like, Department of Educational Defense. I'm like,
right.
Educational Defense.
Right. Well, that's what they were, though. That was their whole thing.
Yeah, they were trying to protect the people.
Yeah.
By killing off gangs.
It's supposed to be this whole, like, new reform to be able to control these kids and get stop the gang violence and everything.
Right.
And get everybody to be back to focused on, going to school and getting an education. That's the whole concept behind it. So it starts out with this, like, really cool concept and idea or whatever, like, nice and friendly, nice and fucking rated G.
Right.
And then it gets fucking crazy because the robots go rogue.
Yeah.
They're all these kids.
Their AI, they start to learn on their own. It's because they mix a battle bot, like a military robot, with AI to teach.
Well, yeah, because they have all this military like protocol as part of it for like the punishment and stuff.
Right.
They start to learn and they start to form their own ideas of how they're going to process it, and then they're basically human destruction machines.
Right.
That it ends up turning into, and all the people involved except for crazy white-eyed guy are like all appalled and scared, and he's just like, fuck yeah.
I was kind of like
my
laughing.
My reputation is on the line and it will not be tarnished. And I'm like, oh jeez.
When Angel died, I was kind of laughing Because it looks so weird, him trying to just lay...
weird.
All I could think of the whole time was like, he's not really acting dead.
No.
Like, I don't know, he just looked funky. Like, he was just like... I don't know.
I liked the idea behind like how they were trying to pass off the fact that it was the robots that going rogue and doing their own shit, and they actually turned the gangs against each other in a creative way and got kind of smart about it, and like Foxy Brown could like match the voices
Oh, yeah.
and stuff, which I thought was
It was
interesting.
like Terminator.
Yeah,
2.
it was cool. Like it was really cool, and it was a lot like a lot of films that came out around that time frame that
Right,
they
yeah,
borrowed ideas
robots.
from, for sure. But I mean, nothing really.
Have you seen this boy?
Nothing was all that original about that movie. if you think about it. Same with the other one too. Like the ideas aren't really like.
I like it. I like Hardware a little bit, but I
like-
don't want to get into that one just yet.
I don't know.
What do you think is your favorite scene in this entire movie?
My favorite of the entire movie.
I know mine.
You go first.
As far as practical effects go, like the whole robot scene of the gym teacher crawling after him and then walking
Yeah.
down the hall, like even though it looked like shit,
It looked like
it
shit,
was
but
still
it was
fucking
cool.
awesome. Like I was just
totally
like,
agree.
look how much effort they put into this
Yeah.
stupid scene.
No, and that's where the $5 million went.
And they like picked her up, like he uses that forklift and he stabs the thing in its chest. And I was like, damn, dude, you're taking some risks right next to that girl.
That's what I said. That's so funny. We were watching them all. That was real fucking close.
Yeah, like, whoa, dude. Like,
Jesus.
literally inches away from killing your fucking
Your
girlfriend.
girlfriend, man. I'm a little close for comfort. Calm
Yeah, it was
down.
like he was just holding her neck.
Right, just holding her neck. I know, it was so stupid.
He didn't
like,
crush her larynx yet or anything. Larynx?
I don't know, neck.
Neck.
I'm gonna go with
Neck bone? Throat
neck
bone?
Throat bone.
Throat bobble?
It's too late for me to be like knowledgeable of anatomy. I don't want to.
Is it larynx?
I don't know. It's Snorlax.
I thought it was larynx.
No, it's Snorlax. It's fine. Just don't worry about
Snorkel?
it. Snorkel.
What is your favorite scene, though?
I actually like the scene where they're coming through towards the beginning when he just got out of jail
Okay.
and they're driving through like the rival gang area. It's not Hector. Gets on in the back of that cool ass fucking truck thing or whatever,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
like
yeah.
is chasing them down.
They
and
flip.
shit. And they flip. Like I
Yeah.
like that whole scene, like that whole chase scene. And even prior, like leading up to that point, like I like the whole scene of them coming through because it's like I said, it's teenage Mad Max and it's
Sure.
interesting. I like it because of the costuming and stuff. It's really cool, and you get to see a whole bunch of it from that view.
Yeah.
so it was fun for me. But I like that. But I really like the part where he flips. So I was like, yeah.
I remember seeing the dummy in the back. And then him getting out, I was like, dude, he would have been dead. Like,
Fuck yeah, he would have been dead.
like, there's no top to that.
So
like,
dead.
nothing to protect him.
So fucking dead.
and he was just like,
yeah. So dead.
But-
And then I liked the drill
oh, yeah.
through the head.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like with the dude's crazy like arm.
Yeah,
It
what
looked
did
like
he-
it looked like a claw from like the claw games that you play to get the stuffed animals and shit.
He said something about, like, higher education or something like
Something
that.
fucking stupid, and I didn't want that little blonde guy to die because I kind of like the blonde guy.
Oh, don't fill your head full of
Don't fill your head full of
nonsense or something
yeah,
like
it's,
that.
Something like that's close. I'm all no, but when it pulls away, it's dope because it's like the little like cuts and indentations from the claw on either side, like above like top of the cheekbone and then above the eyebrow, and then it's the fucking drill mark like right in the fucking center of the guy's skull. I don't know, it was cool.
It is kind of cool. No,
It was
I like
cool.
that.
Like I like that part. I like every sequence when they like are exploding from their like human shell forms and
oh, yeah.
becoming
Dude,
robots.
when his arm came and opened up,
yeah.
and it, like the flesh popped open, it was, and then it just like pulled off.
Yeah, and then it's all
like
on the
I was
ground,
like,
like,
dude,
beep,
what
beep,
the fuck? Like that was pretty badass.
It was cool.
Yeah, it didn't need to be great to do what I liked about it.
It didn't need to be great to get what you wanted out of it.
Yeah, like when shit goes off the handle, it is pretty fucking cool.
Yeah, it was fun.
I think it's probably time we move on to the next movie, which is also a 1990 film
Woo!
by Richard Stanley.
With a lower budget,
Was it?
pretty sure, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, it was,
wasn't it like
actually.
$2 million?
Yeah.
Or 1.5?
It was like 1.5.
My personal opinion in comparing the two films, I feel like Class of 1999 feels more low budget to me than Hardware does.
Oh, 100%.
Which is fucking crazy.
I just don't think they spent their money wisely.
They didn't.
That's what it is.
They didn't. And I feel like most of their money went to the actors.
Actually, I have a story about that for this next one. Hardware came out in 1990, and the story goes...
In the future, a nuclear war has transformed the Earth into a radioactive wasteland where the sea has dried up, leaving it as a post-apocalyptic desert. A desert scavenger named Nomad discovers a robotic head. Arriving in New York City, a space marine named Moses Baxter buys the robotic head from Nomad as a Christmas present for his girlfriend Jill. Jill decides to use it for one of her sculptures, but all hell starts breaking loose when the robotic head is activated and begins to rebuild itself. When Alvy, a junkyard dealer, discovers the robotic head is a Mark 13, a military cyborg of a project that was abandoned, Moses learns Jill's life is in danger as the Mark 13 cyborg goes on a violent rampage in Jill's apartment. Jill has become the prime target for extermination.
That's fucking glorious.
Guys, this is a movie that was directed and written by Richard Stanley. He did other movies like Dust Devil, Island of Dr. Moreau, even though he was not credited. Huh? What's that?
This isn't a movie about a vacuum.
A Dust Devil, yeah. They turned into a vacuum company after that. No, it's actually a movie that takes place in the desert.
That's Dirt Devil.
It's like it's actually not even, it's kind of dark. I can't remember. I've seen Dust Devil, but it wasn't as good as this one. And he also worked on Island of Dr. Moreau, but he got kicked out.
Huh.
And then he snuck onto the set with like a wolf, like a dog face. And they kicked him out again, like a couple of times, supposedly. He did this like a bunch of times. He also worked in the movie Theater Bazaar. He did some of the writing, which has got Udo Kier, sorry, who's the main guy.
That's exciting.
Interesting things about Richard Stanley, though, is he was actually born in South Africa, and he was even offered to direct the movie Judge Dredd in 1996.
Really?
Yeah, but he turned it down. And then he even got offered to work one of my... Oh, I mean, this is probably... I'll just say it's called Spice World.
Wait, what?
He was offered to direct Spice World.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And he
guys, I love Spice World.
Do you really?
That's one of my favorite movies ever.
I can't.
I love the Spice Girls.
It's silly. It's silly. It's supposed to be funny.
It is funny, Alex.
I think they tried.
It is fucking funny. Everybody else was all obsessed with boy bands in the fucking 90s. I was obsessed with the Spice Girls.
I was never.
That was but you were like an adult.
I was old, yeah.
You know.
Well, the first boy band we knew about was New Kids on the Block.
Yeah, I went to that concert.
Yeah.
Jenny had me go. It was pretty fun, actually. I went for Boys to
The
Men.
Right Stuff.
Yeah, anyways, I love the Spice Girls. I love Spice World. It's my favorite movies of all time. I've torment Mouse with it constantly.
I'll just tell you this. I'm just glad that he didn't direct it.
I'm not. I kind of wish he did. There would have been robots and shit in it.
I would have loved to see Richard Stanley's vision of Spice World.
It's so good. I actually kind of like...
It's like in the desert and all the girls are hooked up on heroin or some shit.
Oh my God. I totally would have liked to see what he would have done with Judge Dredd, though.
I
love Judge Dredd.
I think that wasn't a bad choice. He probably just didn't like the idea of it, and he wasn't a fan of it.
I get that, but at the same time, it's kind of like right up his fucking alley. Like,
right?
Why would you not? I don't know. I love Judge Dredd, though.
I actually don't mind it. Watching it again later on, the '96 version, 1996, not the new one, right?
No, I'm talking about '96. Yeah, I like the
with Stallone,
the remake too.
Right.
I actually really liked the remake. I was really surprised.
Remake's really good. I wish they would have given it a bigger budget so they could have done stuff.
It was very good, but I did like I love the original.
Right.
I didn't think it was terrible at all. But I still would have kind of liked to see where he went with it. But anyway,
I didn't like it at the time, but...
I don't think anyone did.
He actually wrote a script called Nemesis, which was inspired by the H.P. Lovecraft poem that the same title. Mm-hmm. And it was about a group of robbers who break into a vault of a very old Dutch bank to get some diamonds, but end up getting trapped inside the building fighting a demon. And one of them gets possessed or something like that. But this is a movie that was supposed to be Jean-Claude Van Damme's. It was going to be a franchise.
Shut up.
Yeah. And I'm kind of interested. It never happened. And you know who was going to direct it? Sam Raimi.
Fuck off right now. Are you serious?
Yeah, how weird is that, right?
It's fucking weird. This movie is actually based off of a short film, right? Is it a short story or short film?
Short story. It was a teleplay or something like that.
2000 AD?
Well, it's called Shock.
Well, it's called Shock, but it's from 2000
yeah,
AD,
2000
right?
AD. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So
But
it's a short
yeah,
story.
yeah, this one.
Look at me knowing things.
I just think there's a
Bing,
lot
bing.
of really crazy stuff about him that you would never think about. He was the great-grandson of the explorer Henry M. Stanley Richard, who basically inspired to make a film for H.G. Wells' story, The Island of Dr. Moreau, and that's why he got picked.
Ah.
You see what I'm saying?
It all comes together.
Obviously, we kind of already know who's in this movie. She kind of mentioned it earlier, but Dylan McDermott.
Who doesn't age? By
Yeah.
the way. He looks exactly the same.
He looks pretty young in this.
He still looks the same.
I think he looks young. Like, he looks more distinguished now.
He doesn't need as much makeup then as he does now.
Maybe.
But he still looks the same. He's like Paul Rudd.
Yeah.
He just don't fucking age.
He was in... Did you know he was in Party Monster? Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
yeah,
so
he's
weird.
the club owner.
I know, but
with
it's
the
just
eye
so
patch.
weird, yeah.
No, I know, because I love that fucking
I forgot
movie.
that. I didn't even... That's like before I really
I burned
realized.
through my first 2 VHS copies of that movie.
Really? Yeah, I like the
love
movie,
that
too.
fucking movie. And the book is fantastic, too, that it's based off of Disco Bloodbath.
Oh, yeah.
So good. But anyway, yeah, no, he's the eye patch club owner.
Yeah, I forgot
so y'all
about
know
that.
I'm covering my one eye hand. As I say, eye
Like
patch
Left
club
Eye
owner.
Lopez?
Like Left Eye. Aw, R.I.P.
Also, Carl McCoy, singer of Fields of Nephilim.
Shut up.
He was in this movie. He was the guy that was out in the thing getting the
he's
robot
the
head.
Nomad.
Yeah, he's the Nomad.
Nomad.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many fucking cameos in this movie.
There's a lot. And
Like,
there's
cool
even more.
fucking cameos.
There's so many different stories to this. That's why I was saying, like, the more I dug, the more it opened up all these other things. And I'm like, fuck, dude.
Yeah. I didn't know that guy. Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah, he actually directed Richard Stanley actually directed 2 of their videos. That's how they became
Oh.
friends.
No, it makes so much sense.
So he's also the writer for Jake West's Razorblade Smile, which we did an interview with Jake West. He does all the Video Nasties documentaries, and he also does Evil Aliens and Doghouse. He even did an episode of Miami Vice, by the way, this Carl McCoy from Fields of Nephilim, and voice acting for the movie The 13th Sign.
Huh.
Iggy Pop was in this as the insane DJ of War.
Angry Bob, right?
WAR radio.
Isn't that his name?
Angry Bob might be right. Yeah.
I want to.
Sounds right. Yeah.
I want to say I'm right.
Then Lemmy from Motorhead.
I mean, rest in peace.
He was the taxi driver. I saw a little interview with him in it, and he was like, you know, I lost the gun that they were supposed to have, and the water was toxic. So I felt really bad. And that was it. And they never see him again in the fucking thing,
I
dude.
say he's so young, but he was probably like 50.
Oh, yeah. He was probably 30 years old or 40 years old in there.
I'm going with 50.
Yeah, I don't know. It was good to see him, especially in the extras. Stacey Travis was in this. She was in Phantasm 2, Earth Girls Are Easy, Deadly Dreams, Dr. Hackenstein.
Yeah, she's chill, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also Simon Boswell did the music in the film, who he's done a lot of different stuff. So it was kind of cool to see. Like, his music kind of reminded me of the movie Brain Damage.
Uh-huh.
Has some like weird elements in it that I thought. But this movie, like we were talking about the budget earlier, originally was budgeted, like they pitched it for $200,000.
What?
Then it went to $250,000, and then the producer was like, "Clearly, we're going to need more." And then they go more and more and more and more and more, and it got all the way up to about $1.5 million budget. And they were like, "This movie just like kept costing more and more money." And Richard Stanley fought for Stacey Travis to be in the movie, and because of it, he didn't get to pick who Moses was going to be.
The actor?
Yeah, so
Oh,
they
shit.
picked Dylan McDermott, and I'll get into this a little bit more, but there was some differences in the story, the original story, that Dylan McDermott does not fit the bill. Like, he's like a hunky, like in shape guy, and the character did not call for that.
And I felt that disconnection though the whole time, which
I didn't mind him in it.
Seems kind of weird.
I thought it was kind of cool and like,
he was all right.
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I could feel that. I feel like more of like a Bruce Willis-y type guy should have maybe played that character.
You think? Well, this one, the original character was supposed to... Well, I don't want to get into it too quick, but there is some really cool stuff I'll tell you here in a little bit. It's pretty dark.
I can see that, and that feels more like what I was wanting.
What did you think of the movie in general?
I liked it. I thought it was slow.
Yeah?
It took a long fucking time for it to build up to what it did, but it ended up actually being kind of worth it in the end, for the most part. But overall, it was cool. Aesthetically, enjoyed it more than Class of 1999.
Oh yeah, it's stylish, more stylish.
I liked the story more too.
Yeah.
And the acting was a lot better.
Oh, way better.
I guess if I had to compare the two, this was my favorite. But
there was some bad acting in it, but it wasn't as bad as Class of 99.
That whole movie was basically bad.
And you would think they would have had a lot of really good acting in that for the budget they had.
For the budget they had, right. I thought I was going to like it more, though, so I think I was a little bit upset about it at the end. I was a little disappointed because I felt like I was expecting more from it than what I got in the end, but it was still pretty good.
I think
I've seen worse fucking movies. I've seen the Child.
I liked it a lot. It was one of those movies that was like a lot of people didn't know about for a while.
Yeah, it became a cult classic.
It became a cult classic after a while. The music was really popular in it. I mean, go figure that a music video director is going to do a lot of really cool music in it.
Like the soundtrack for it's really good.
Like they had Ministry doing Stigmata. They had Public Image Limited with This Is What You Want, This Is What You Get. This is what you want, this is what you get. And then they even had Motorhead, Ace of Spades.
Yeah, well.
And then they had Simon Boswell's music, which was kind of a little different. One of the things I love about this movie is the robot head.
I love it too. It's so good. God. It's so good.
I want a copy. I want to make somebody to make it.
Fuck, dude.
Right.
And before she puts the fucking American flag on it.
I even like it with it.
I like it with the American flag on it too, but just when he pulls it out of the fucking sand in the desert, I'm just like, dude.
Looks cool.
That's what that. I mean,
you can see the name of the lens.
Yeah, well,
on the eye.
But that alone to me is like that's $1.5 million for that stupid robot head. You know what I mean? Like that's the budget.
Well, I don't think so. That probably didn't cost them very much.
It probably didn't, but it looks cool. Like and it's clean, and I love it. And I love that you agree and you said that. Actually,
yeah, no, that's one of my favorite things about this movie is just the robot in general.
The aesthetic is so cool.
Especially, I personally liked it when they painted it up.
It still looks awesome.
I liked it. It kind of looked like it had an American flag, but they weren't really trying for that. They were trying to do the rising sun on one side, and there were stars that just happened to be like this was a vision that he had when he was a kid. Like he came up with this character and this robot when he was like 13.
Okay.
So he had been building this character in his mind since he was 13 years old. And so it went through several different changes and some of the things that he kept in his dreams. He literally had dreams about this creature.
That makes sense.
So part of that came through, and then it just ended up looking like an American flag, which is not what he intended, by the way. But it totally fit, and I think it hit probably Americans probably better because of it.
I loved it. It was slow to me.
Right.
And I felt like it took a while to build to where it needed to, and I think they could have done more with the story.
Okay.
To make it be a little bit more intriguing from the beginning. But overall, I really liked it. But aesthetically, beautiful. I don't know. The colors and everything were just really cool.
Okay. Yeah, no, the colors are really good.
Very vibrant and very beautiful. And that's the kind of stuff that I really look for in films.
Do you know why the colors were like that?
No.
Because it was so not typical of what that kind of film was. He was a huge fan of Dario Argento.
Ah, there it is.
And so he did a lot of the color scheming to do it like Suspiria.
Makes perfect sense.
That's what I'm saying. Like I was like, oh, okay, I see what you're doing, buddy.
I don't know. I like the concept of it too because it gets kind of Handmaid's Tale-ish in a way too.
Sure.
With, the whole idea behind them rolling out this like elite force of robots to essentially, I don't know.
They were sent out in the wasteland to kill people or something.
No, they're gonna be oh my god, why am I forgetting the words?
Salvage bots or something. I don't remember.
No, the whole idea is for sterilizing. It's for sterilization.
Okay.
They want to do the sterilization for people because they're overpopulated or whatever.
So they thin them out, thinning the herd.
Essentially. So it's kind of like a concept of like the Purge meets...
Well, it's this apocalyptic future where the water's fucked up, everything's fucked up.
Yeah, so it's kind of like all these different ideas of like Mad Max and the Purge and Handmaid's Tale all kind of rolled into one with fucking robots.
Right.
And that's like that's what they're talking about or what she's hearing and they talk about and they have this whole scene between Jill and Mo, discussing her overhearing this on the news about how they're going to be like rolling out this new policy or rule or whatever about
kids.
sterilization and all this, like, this whole procedure or process or whatever. And she goes into this, like, beautiful fucking, like, I don't know, dialogue about why the fuck would, anyone who wants to bring a fucking kid into this world is sick in the fucking head or whatever. And, like, they have this whole, like, back and forth conversation. And I liked that. Like, that little bit of dialogue was interesting to me, because I like when they take something and make it a dynamic exchange between the actors.
Yeah, they work
like, even
well
in
together.
a movie that doesn't necessarily need that, it's not really called for or whatever, and they do that, and how they all tie it in at the end too is what's really cool. Yeah, I don't know, I really liked it. Like I said, I still felt a little disappointed at the end, like I didn't get what I wanted from it,
but this is what you want. This is what you get.
I still shut up. I still really liked it.
Yeah, no, I really liked it. It's one of it's like a cult favorite of mine. I've always loved it. Like, I think I saw it on, like, something late at night, and I don't know, nobody knew what it was, and I was always like, you should watch this, Some interesting tidbits about the director, Stanley. He started off making Super 8 films. He actually ran from the South African military to Libya and then into England. So that's how his whole career started.
Oh, shit.
On the run, literally. He also quit making videos for bands and stuff like that in 1989, and he ran to Afghanistan for Hezbi Alami. I guess that's how you say his name, but he was like a guerrilla group. It was like a guerrilla group that were trying to fight against the Russians. And so he, like, tried to join up with them. So it's, like, crazy. Like, this guy's life is not normal. Like, it's like...
He runs from the military, but then he wants to join a guerrilla military
to fight against the Russian military. Yeah. Well, that makes sense.
All right.
Like I said, he was a huge Dario Argento fan.
Which is very apparent.
Yeah, you can see it in the light work for sure. But he also, when he got started, he actually worked in a movie theater called The Scarlet, and it was like a place where the guy that ran it was like kind of a producer, and he was trying to find young new talent that was really passionate about stuff, so they would play all these like underground, independent, subversive films like Driller Killer and shit like that. In fact, one of the producers on the movie, who was friends with the producer who owned The Scarlet and Richard Stanley went to all the time, he said there was literally cats all over the place. Like in this place. So it's like, it wasn't like a nice theater or anything like that, but they found a copy or a print of The Driller Killer, which was like a huge video nasty, like no, and they played it at this theater, and someone died of a heart attack.
Oh, shit.
While watching the movie, and the police came, and they were supposed to have this film or something like that. So they got into big trouble, and it was around the video nasty time, so it was like really crazy. But I thought it was really interesting. Remember when I was telling you about the story and how the original story was? Richard Stanley was unable to get the character that he wanted because he wanted Stacey Travis, to be in that role so bad. He had to give up some of his rights to pick the rest of the cast because he fought for her so much.
Okay.
Which I don't think she was... I mean, she was good.
She was good.
But I don't know, like...
She was good.
It definitely had to be the right person to fight against the robot.
Yeah. I mean, they couldn't get Sigourney Weaver, so... Right.
And she was kind of cool. She was like... She was more of a feminist in a way. Like, she was, like, in control.
No, she was awesome.
She wasn't like...
From a female standpoint, she's pretty fucking badass. Like, she does a good job.
The character...
defeats everything on her own, you know what I mean? And she hacks the system and...
She did all her own stunts, too.
Yeah, does all this... Really?
Yeah. But because he put so much pressure on getting her, they picked Dylan McDermott to do the part. But originally, the guy was supposed to be a junkie who was dying of cancer.
It makes a million times more sense to me.
Yeah, and he said it was like, he was pissed that here's this hunky looking, like, in shape guy who's like, what? No, that's not what it's supposed to be at all.
No, I totally get that. Like, I kind of felt like they were going more for the vibe of, like, along the lines of, like, Jared Leto and Requiem for a Dream. A feeling with that character.
Yeah,
that type of a vibe. And that's what I was feeling, or what I felt was needed in the movie. I felt that was more appropriate for his character type. However,
I think he did okay.
Dylan McDermott still did a really good job.
Yeah, I don't think anybody would have known the difference.
Probably not. I just think that it's a personal
It might have been a little more substance.
Right. When you look at the attitude behind the film, how it's supposed to be resonating with the audience, like, that's what I picked up on. It makes more sense with that character. But
right. Well,
Dylan McDermott still did a good job, but yeah, for most people, it's not something that you're going to catch on.
Funny thing is, Richard Stanley thought that this was one of the weakest stories that he had in his arsenal of movies.
Really?
Yeah. And it ended up being like a success, quite a success because I mean they spent 1.5 million and they got about 6 million out of it.
Yeah.
They quadrupled their money.
I guess I can see why you would think that because it's not really like this substantial plot.
Right, but it was pitched to somebody else who had the script, and he was like, they were like, whose is this? And they were like, it's his, and then they kind of like ran around and find it. But did you know that the Mark 13, which was the name of the robot, was just a name that Richard Stanley was like, yeah, I just thought it was a cool, like 13 numbers unlucky. That's the only reason I downloaded
It's always something 13.
But yeah.
Always.
The funny thing is Dylan McDermott found a quote in the Bible for the Mark chapter 13 called, and it says, no flesh should be spared. Said that of the elect. Mm-hmm. So it was just like some weird happy coincidence. I don't think you could tell that he wasn't really fond of Dylan McDermott as the character. Like, you know, like he was just upset because it wasn't his vision.
Right.
But he pushed on for her so much, you know, like he had to kind of give up.
Yeah, well, she did. She was great, though, I thought. And out of the two, she was far better.
You could tell he's very particular.
Absolutely.
If he turned down Judge Dredd and he turned down Spice World, where he could have made buku money, yeah. He's obviously very, very artistic of his own, like, thing.
Turned down Spice World.
Did you know that instead of Lemmy being the taxi driver, that Sinead O'Connor was supposed to play it?
What?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I thought I was like, really weird.
That's weird.
It would have been really weird.
So
I don't know.
Lemmy's fitting.
Lemmy, he was like, well, they just
so
handed me pipe and they were just like,
but
read this.
I feel like Lemmy and Iggy Pop could have like switched roles, and it would have been fine either way.
Maybe. I don't know. Iggy Pop. I thought Iggy Pop did a good radio voice.
Well, he has a better radio voice out of the two for sure.
Right.
However, I feel like they could have switched roles and it would have worked.
Probably. Yeah.
Regardless.
Did you know that this film was actually originally given an X rating?
I saw that and I'm still confused.
Because all right, this is going to be a little bit of a spoiler thing, and I found out about this, but there was a scene where the robot's over top of her, and there was like in the drawing when they made the drawing, it was like what seemed like a robot drill penis. And they thought it was like a rape scene. A lot of the gore and stuff, they had to cut this movie down a lot.
Which is, yeah, that's what I read about it. And you know what? I don't know. I was so, maybe that's part of why I was disappointed, because I was like, I saw originally that it was supposed to be given this rating and it ended up with this one because of the gratuitous fucking violence and whatever,
sex, probably.
and
probably more sex.
And I was like, fuck yeah, like I'm so ready to watch this movie, and then I'm like, that's it. That's not shit.
I don't know for 100% why they did that, but I do know that
I'm pretty sure it's all because of the creepy fucking neighbor.
Yeah, that was pretty creepy. But the rape, it looked like a robot rape scene, and actually people on the set when they were shooting it left.
Oh.
They said, this is not right. I don't want to be a part of it. And everyone but Stacy and the two camera guys kept shooting. Well, it was Richard Stanley and like the producer or something like that. But even Stacy Travis was like, I didn't think anything of it. She was like, I knew I was going to break that fucking dick off anyway. So
yeah.
She was like, the drill bit was nothing. I'm kind of a feminist. So
I'm not going to get killed.
She's like, I wasn't worried about it. I was going to break his dick off. What is that? That's
I'm
a better.
Get raped with that thing. It's fine.
Right. Speaking of that guy though, Lincoln, the neighbor, dude, I think that's one of the best performances in it though. Did you know that was
for sure
all improv?
Are you serious?
All of it.
Oh, he made me so fucking uncomfortable.
He really was good at it.
It was awful.
Yeah, it really was.
That was the worst part for me. Like, I'm watching it, and he's just like, yeah, get on that big dick, girl. And I'm just like, oh,
and he's all licking his lips and shit.
No. And yeah, they keep cutting away to, like, his fucking nasty-ass sausage mouth. And
his, like, cold sores.
Yeah, so
his sausage mouth? Really?
Yeah, yes. He's so fucking disgusting.
His sausage mouth.
I can't.
It's like two Jimmy Dean patties.
It is two fucking Jimmy Dean patties. Like, with a fucking extra fucking breakfast sausage stuck in the middle. It's absolutely
Come
fucking
on,
disgusting
get some Lincoln log.
Oh, it was so gross. That's why I was like, is that why they wanted this shit to be fucking rated like X?
No.
Because holy
it definitely
fuck,
wasn't, but that
gross.
was very uncomfortable.
He's so fucking nasty, and it's just like, ugh.
Well, we all talk the wibberly wobberly talk.
I watch a lot
and we all walk the wibberly wobberly walk.
Dude, I watch a lot of fucking porn.
Yeah.
And they say a lot of fucking nasty shit in porn. I watch weird porn.
But that was creepy.
Hardcore.
Well, that's rapist kind of creepy.
But I watch hardcore, like, rapey porn. You know what I mean? Like, I love tentacle porn and like, shit like that. But,
yeah. Like, that seemed too real.
I watch some really fucking raunchy, like, terrible shit.
All right, let's cut it back, Brittany.
But that was just ugh.
Yeah, he's creepy and he's greasy and
he's disgusting. And
yeah.
I don't, and it was just how he, and you know what? And that just means he's a great fucking actor. Because he made me so fucking physically uncomfortable, and it is so difficult to do that. And I literally watched it the whole time. Like, oh,
well, honestly, that's one of my favorite scenes.
No. And I wanted to skip. Well, the sex scene's pretty great. But
he gets killed pretty.
Gotta watch that shit on mute.
Gruesome.
Because he's gross.
He gets punched in the chest.
Oh yeah, that was dope. Though that kill scene was fantastic.
He's like, "Why did you leave the blinds open?" And she's
Don't
like,
do it!
"I like." And then I like when he meets her, and he was like, "Hi, my name is Lincoln."
He harasses her.
He's like, "You can call me Link. Call me Link, please." Like he's all like, "Ah."
Ugh.
She's like, "Look, let's get two things straight. One, I don't want to deal with this, and two," he's like, "You want me to leave, don't you?" And she's like, "No, I want you to open the fucking door." He's like, "What about these blinds?" And then he dies. It's like, you fucking idiot.
Worst, dude. Like, she's trying to just get help, and all he wants to do is like sexually harass her, and then all of a sudden he's like, "I'm just gonna go open these windows." She's like, "No, don't open the blinds."
Yeah, like, and why did you know?
I'm like,
and like, why is that so significant? That was a little weird.
It was a little weird. Like,
yeah,
it was a little like too spot on. Like, I don't know.
That was like a really big scene for them too. They wanted that scene to like pop.
Yeah, but because she traps him in the room though, not how he got stuck there.
Yeah, why is the robot hiding?
I don't know. I feel like he wasn't necessarily hiding. He was just like stuck in there. I don't know how that happened. I don't know how that scene fucking played out to be the way that it was, or why it was that way. I don't understand.
He was looking at the stars.
Because I know she separated herself in between when the door's shut,
right,
and locked. And that's how the robot is in one room and she's in this room,
right.
And then I'm like, wait, but then what the fuck is significance with the blinds? And then if the robot could just like bust through, why didn't he do that already? Like that part was so fucking confusing to me.
It was a little confusing, yeah.
Completely
to me
disjointed. It made no sense. However, that kill scene,
it's cool.
Was tits.
What other scene do you like?
I actually really liked. I like when he knocks her back into the shower. She's got like the bat or whatever it is that she's got in her hands.
She broke it on him.
I think
actually.
she had just. This is after she hacked into like the system or whatever, I think, to discover like the weakness is like humidity.
Right. Water.
Come on. Really? I don't know.
It's
anyway,
its one weakness.
One weakness.
Because it doesn't rain.
Humidity is the one.
It doesn't rain there, so they didn't need to worry about it.
This fucking monster's weakness is humidity. I'm like, what? Whatever. I mean, it's a machine.
Right.
I guess that makes sense. Water, humidity, whatever. But yeah, I actually really like that whole sequence. I like every sequence where they're fighting, and it's just done really cool. And I like a strong female character in charge.
Sure.
So it was awesome. But yeah, like visually, I really liked that scene.
Okay.
Where he like knocks her back into the shower, and it's kind of like this like slow motion kind of play.
Okay.
And she kind of obviously smacks her head back, and then she just like lays there for a second.
Stepping in glass.
Stepping in, and it pans down to her feet.
Yeah, you can see it all fucked up.
Yeah, and like the special effects work on that is great. But yeah, I love that cutaway, like pan down to the feet. And it sounds so weird, but it's just
that's an extra
artistically.
Yeah, it's a nice touch.
It's incredible.
Yeah,
and it's just like this little cut down to like just to show like how fucked up she's getting. She's getting fucking rocked.
She did that whole scene by herself. She got
awesome.
She like jumped back through it and everything.
It's so awesome. But yeah, and then and then she turns on the fucking water or whatever.
Right,
like,
and it melts in its eyes. It's
so
like goes
cool.
away.
But my favorite scene, I love that scene, but my favorite scene is actually when the robot's regenerating and creating and like building itself.
Yeah,
and when
that's pretty
she's
cool.
sleeping and she's having these whole like fever dream kind of sequences or whatever.
I like when it's like leaning forward over the computer and the lights are going on behind it a little bit. That's a nice shot.
Isn't that when Dylan McDermott's having his trip?
I think so. Yeah.
After he gets stabbed with the toxin.
Yeah,
or whatever.
that's right.
That's when he's having his trip. Is when he's seeing that.
He stabs his arm and.
He's all cutting him.
Yeah, he cuts his arm open and shit. I was like, what is he doing?
That's part of his like trip before he dies.
Well, there's two people that trip in this movie too, because Shades trips.
Well, yeah, because Shades is high as fuck.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hello.
Because he calls him to help her.
Right.
Yeah, and he's all fucked up and can't do shit or whatever because he's all fucking high.
Right.
And then that's the only reason why he gets to that fucking door, I'm sure. It's because he's all fucking high. Like, all the security people, like, die.
Yeah, because he has to, like, run to jump between the doors opening and closing. And then that one guy gets cut in half. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, I was like, oh, shit.
Those two guys, like, that guy looked like an old dad. Like, he did not look like some sort of warrior security guy. he was like wearing this whole getup, and I was like, that's like
They all
my
look like
dad.
your typical like shitty landlord fucking people.
Right,
Like,
yeah.
security
In the
detail, like,
in the
I don't know.
apocalypse, I guess.
Yeah, it's landlord apocalypse security. I don't know.
Well, let me ask you this. Now, out of the 2 movies that we saw, would you say which one did you think you would like more?
Hardware
Yeah, me too.
for sure.
Well, it has better music. One of the things I
It
forgot
does
to
have better
mention.
music.
Did you catch that the video on the screen was Ministry Stigmata, but it was Guar? Yeah, everybody always points that out. I always wondered that. I was like, what, Ministry wasn't edgy enough in their looks?
know.
Like,
I thought it was the weirdest shit. I'm just like, what the fuck?
it's probably because he was like, well, this is really far in the future, guys. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to understand, this is really far, 10 years into the future.
Yeah, and it was tripping me the fuck out because I'm like, this isn't matching up.
Right.
Why is this not matching up? And I'm like, oh, because it's 2 different fucking bands.
Stronger than reason.
Yeah, and then the whole time I'm thinking of how many times they play that song in the fucking club, and I'm like,
Dun, 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 dun,
and
dun.
I always think it's Bile when it first starts out.
Oh, a little bit. Kind of has that feel.
It has that same.
Well,
like,
they got.
riff.
I think they got some of their vibe from that a little
They
bit.
totally did.
Yeah.
But yeah,
And
it
Manson
has
a
that,
little bit,
It has
too.
that same like riff of In League for Bile, which is my favorite. song.
Totally. Yeah. It
And
does.
so every time they play it in the club, I'm just like, yes, In League, and I'm like, nope. It's fucking Ministry. Like,
I
of course
think-
it's fucking Ministry.
I think part of the reason I think this movie did so well back in the day was that it had a lot of really cool bands and music and style. They had a lot of names in it. There was a lot of connection, and how they made this movie and where it came from. The story building up to it is really fascinating to me. So I just, for that reason alone, I mean, granted, I don't know the whole story of Class of 99.
Yeah, well, it's hard to find any.
It's a
information
cool
about
movie.
that.
Like, it's a movie I want to own, Class of 99. I don't own it. I had it at
It's
one
fun.
point.
It's a fun movie.
Yeah.
Like, it's just fun. Like, straight from start to finish, it's fun. And
It
it's
is
fun to,
fun.
like, at the very least, sit there and fucking make fun of the
It
entire
totally.
time.
It's like I feel like because of this whole '90s thing. Like, all I want to watch is sci-fi
Oh, yeah.
recently. Like, I watched Screamers the other day on Shudder, and it's so fucking good. I kept
Yeah.
saying to myself, I was like, I'm turning this off. If it gets stupid, I'm turning it off. And I was like, and I
never
kept
got
saying it for the whole fucking movie. And I'm like, I guess it's just a good movie.
I guess it just doesn't get stupid.
I was like, I thought this was a bad movie.
It's awesome. I
So
love it.
that's what inspired a lot of this 90s stuff too for me. But it's going to be hard to pick. There's so many movies
There's
in
a
90s.
There's a lot. And I mean,
Like,
I
we
feel
have to
like
do Scream and
don't really
like I
have-
Know What You Did Last Summer.
we don't really have to pick a whole lot of good, like, from very good movies, at least.
No.
Like, it's going to be a lot of campy, fun, stupid
And we
movies.
could
like
do-
Scream and I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right.
Pretty terrible.
What we could do, like, in 2 parts, we could pick one movie to talk about for part 1 and then do 2 movies in another and then part 2.
That'd be fun.
That way we would have like a little bit more
Extra.
choice.
Oh, yeah, I know. It gives us
I know
a
it's
little bit
3 movies, but I feel like
Well, it gives
there's
us a little
so
bit more to
many.
talk about, and honestly, I feel like most of the movies in the '90s we've probably seen
Sure.
enough.
Oh,
So
yeah.
it's like a refresher course, except for like this time because I had not heard of either of these movies.
Right. Well, and that's a good thing. I want you
my
to see
baby
stuff you haven't
1990.
seen. Yeah. Like, I want to do Into the Mouth of Madness, Event Horizon.
We have to do Event Horizon.
And-
I thought you guys already did that movie.
No, I think we may have
I don't
actually.
care. We're doing it. I love that fucking.
A lot of
movie.
people hate it, and you know
They
what?
can fuck off.
You know what really
Sorry.
is upsetting about that, and I say this to everyone all the time, is that they lost all the extra footage that they cut that made that movie show you more of hell. Like, I was so mad, and that
Oh, yeah.
this is like when they weren't doing extras.
Oh my god, dude! I love that fucking film. First time I saw it, I was just like, "What the fuck?" Like, it's just mind fucking blown. And that was like 5 years ago. The first time I saw it, I'm
I
like,
don't
why
think-
did I never?
I don't
it's
think
like
it's
Hellraiser
perfect.
in space.
If I had to pick between Event Horizon and In the Mouth of Madness, I would pick In the Mouth of Madness.
I need to
Just
watch
because
that.
it's darker. You've never seen it? But guys, yeah, thank you so much for stopping by today. Thank you for coming this week and helping us celebrate the anniversary for BTV. It's kind of a really big deal to me because I can't believe I've done this for a year. And I've only missed 1 week, dude.
Holy shit!
1 week. Like, I took a vacation to go see my family in December. And I have been doing an episode, at least 1 or 2 episodes a week for months.
That's crazy. It's awesome though.
I'm glad I stuck to it. It's kind of like it's like going through boot camp or something. You just feel proud of yourself a little bit.
At the end of the day,
Yeah, you have
when
nothing
all
to
the
show.
editing is done and the episode airs, you're just like, yes.
Well, and if I ever die, like, this is like a whole big catalog
Your
of
legacy.
of me. Yeah. They're like, what was Alex like? Oh, he was talking about dicks a lot.
He made a lot of fucking dirty dick jokes. And made a joke about shooting a dog and with a shotgun sound, and it was great.
Well, what did you guys think? Did you like these two movies? Have you seen these two movies? Which of these two movies would you like to see more?
I want to know which ones of you were like me that had no fucking idea these movies existed.
Yeah, if you've never seen these movies, shout out in the comments for sure. But thank you guys so much for stopping by. We'll be back on Monday, and I hope you have a great weekend, guys.
Stay weird, monsters.
Listening to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. Tune in every Monday for a brand new episode.